Hello. Sorry for the air conditioning in the background, or not air, the fan in the background. We don't have AC, so I'm gonna need it right now. I really just want to hop on here today to talk about my early experiences DoorDashing. I've now been DoorDashing for what, a month, 3-4 weeks, somewhere around there, and my experience has been overwhelmingly positive. I'm not gonna bury the lead here. It has taken me to places of my own town that I never knew about, which is cool. Restaurants in my own town I never knew about, which is also cool. And it's just let me kind of spend a lot of time back listening to audio content, listening to like podcasts and music and stuff like that, whatever the word I'm looking for is. I used to be able to do that a lot because I worked in retail, and I was able for at least 2 hours every single day in the morning to have an earbud in and just, podcast it up. And I read books that way. I would, obviously invest in a lot of film podcasts that way. Shout out to the Best Film Ever podcast and many, many more. And then there's casual content in there too. But getting to have that back with the DoorDash is just another big positive for me. I'm going to keep just trying to go through the positives, I think, at first. I've gotten some free food already, free drinks from being nice to some of the people in the line. Well, those people are being nicer to me than I am to them, I guess. And also just people canceling their orders and being like, yeah, you can go ahead and have it. And not sure if I can say I eat those, like legally, so I don't eat them. Besides that, I think, the money is good. The money is good. With gas prices right now, it's not as good as it could be. Though I'm surprised at like how much people say it's hard to make money on this app, because I maybe it's just the times that I'm going, but I'm going late night, and a lot of people advise not to go late night. And it's when I go on Friday and Saturday nights between the hours of 3 and about 5 a.m. Probably 2 to 5. 2 to 4 more accurately. It is just buzzing. I'm not even on like the highest rank or whatever to be able to get the most orders, and I'm just like very, very consistent orders. And even if I'm not during that time frame, starting early, pretty much anytime before 12, I'm the same way. So I'm figuring out the dead times, I believe. Though I feel like maybe I'm very lucky, or people are making a big deal about how hard it is to actually make money off of all this stuff. I've had some negative times for sure. My first DoorDash was not the best. It was a pizza order, and I didn't have one of the pizza things, so I already messed that up. I don't even know how the order got through to me, the pizza bags. And I took it to a high school. The high school happened to be having I think a middle school dance recital, or younger dance recital. And so I'm like, I pull up to the high school. My phone is sitting on the charger, and I've already been told by this lady that I need to call her when I get there, because she's going to walk outside and I'm going to give her a pizza, right? So I grab my phone off the charger, and it dies. And I'm like, what? How? I'm very confused. And so I put it back on the charger, like, what is happening right now? I'm starting to freak out because I don't know if the DoorDash app is going to crash or whatever. And so I put it on the charger. Nothing happens. I realize that my charger's broke, and I'm in a very bad spot right now. This is about the worst way that a first order could go. I thought this was it. And so then I get up, I get out of the car, and I just start looking for this lady, because I'm like, people are exiting now the high school. There's a bunch of these just little girls walking out, and families behind them walking out. And so I'm just walking up to the to kind of the side and talking to some of the parents and asking, oh, does anybody have did anybody order a pizza from DoorDash? Did anybody order a pizza from DoorDash? And eventually I get somebody to tell me that I can walk up to these metal doors and start asking people there, because it'll be a lot more efficient. If somebody did order it, they're probably looking out those doors. So I walked up to those doors, which are not far into the property or anything. They're just on the side of the school. And I start asking people the same questions. I don't see anybody. I'm not walking in. Then finally this lady walks up to me, this brunette woman, and she looks very concerned. She's not the person I'm trying to give my DoorDash to. And she goes, what are you doing here? And I told her that, I'm a delivery driver for DoorDash. I have this pizza here. And she's like, oh, okay. I actually asked her if she knew anybody who needed the pizza. She's like, no. But then she said, oh, okay, can I see the receipt? for the pizza. So I'm like, sure, it's like right here in the box. So I go and I bring the box, flip it around, and of course the receipt is not there. It's at this point that I start to kind of realize the optics of the situation, right? There's me, a person who has no type of, as you see now, no type of DoorDash stuff on him, holding pizza outside of this high school where there are much younger people walking out of. And I basically it just looks like I'm praying. It looks like I'm doing some bad stuff, is what I'm saying. That's what started to go through my mind, right? But it's not that bad. So then the lady is, she's a little bit concerned. She's like, okay, well, can I see your phone then? Now panic starts to just spread across my body because, of course, my phone is dead. So when I say that, my phone is dead, she just gives me a weird look and then walks inside. And from that point on, I was just not willing to deal with the situation anymore. So I just sat the pizza down, went back to my car, and drove home. That was my first DoorDash order. Yeah, it was pretty rough, man. I mean, pretty rough. It probably wasn't that, but the way that the lady, I was not thinking about anything around, it could be bad me standing outside this high school. Until that lady started questioning me about being a DoorDash driver. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I can still feel it in my heart where I was just like, oh, wait, this is not, this is a sticky situation for me. But luckily I was able to get out of there, and that night actually went great after that. I went home, I charged my phone, I got in contact with the person that I didn't get the order, or that I gave the order to. I told them that my phone had died and I set the pizza at the place. They ended up actually getting the order because my completion rate stayed. And which was I'm sure their pizza was cold, so I'm very sorry about that if you ever see this person. I don't remember what your name was. That's pretty much sums up a lot of the bad. It's the communication aspect is what can be difficult. The places that you go can be difficult, like apartment buildings are iffy because of the parking a lot. But schools or something like that, events, that sucks. That's just not, it's way worse than just being able to drop off at a neighborhood door. I've had a lot of success bringing a flashlight out there. And yeah, it's just like a job, it's not a crazy job. There's not that much to it. So that's about everything I have. I guess we can do like a little part 3 on like my advice, right? Like, here's my advice for you other DoorDash drivers or DoorDash aspiring drivers out there. Get a good cooler bag. Everybody's probably going to say that, but man, my cooler bag is nice, and it's like, keeps the rain out. It's got this top on it. It fits the McDonald's thing perfectly. I'm a big fan of that. Seriously, have good stuff to listen to. Like, listen to good. You're gonna get bored, man. Especially like sitting waiting for orders. You're gonna get bored sitting there. So I have some really good stuff to listen to. I would suggest having an earbud in so you can listen to stuff the entire time. If you're, I guess, as ADHD as I am, yeah, even while talking to people, I guess that stuff is going. So I'm not listening that closely. But I think it's a lot easier than having to turn your car on and off with this stuff, pause, unpause, a lot more distraction on the road, all that. As far as waiting for orders go, I haven't heard as much advice about this, but I've had a lot of success, kind of the way that I have waited for orders thus far. And if it doesn't work, I will tell you. But I will start the DoorDash app before I get gas just at home, right? I'm not in a great spot already, and then I'll drive to get gas. Maybe I'll have to decline one order. But once I get gas, then I will just order will ring out at some point within there, always, as long as I start at a decent time. And then I'll start driving. And pretty much if I get consistent orders, I'm just going to keep going and keep stopping at little places to, like, look for my maps or set up the next road when I get them. Or set up the next song or whatever when I get them. I like waiting around the area that you already are for a couple minutes, just because if you have time to kill like me, it doesn't hurt to wait like 3 minutes, and it's like, okay, I happen to get one really close, or I'm getting one back to where I need to drive anyways, or whatever it is. I haven't minded that. I've also had a lot of success just driving to the location. Though, don't use their directions. I've had less when you hit the navigation button. I've had less success. There's a little navigation button that allows you to get back to the zones. If you don't know how the zones work, it's basically like grouped around the popular restaurants are hot little circles where if you're in them you get more orders. It's pretty fairly simple. I've had some bad experiences on the road too with a few people. One person turning the wrong way on a one-way in front of me, like turning left as I'm going in front of that. I was going this way and they turned left in front of me like that. That was scary. Just a lot of pretty crazy drivers that you got to watch out for. And yeah, one more piece of advice is don't buy food or set a limit for how much you're going to spend, because every time you go out, you're going to be spending on gas and you're spending on food. So you have to, I'm talking like a pro, I've been doing this for 3 weeks, but you don't want to spend more money than you have to, right? And it's so tempting to get food, especially fast food, or if you go to a really good place, sit down. I got some good sit down. I'm speaking from experience. I don't have enough money to be doing that. You may or may not have enough money. You don't want to be doing it. Instead, bring a snack. I don't know. That's worked out for me. Or just starve yourself. That's not good to put on camera. Never mind. Don't. I mean, yeah, that is really about it. Like, I'm not sure necessarily what else to do. This isn't supposed to be like some crazy DoorDash advice video. This is just my experience with it. I'm dragging it now. I'm always looking for a way to close these out, but I forget that I can close it out with a nice little deuces.